saying yes doesn't do much for me.
Sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi. What about you guys? I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Oh, what? Yeah, I don't know what you say.
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
I don't fucking
What about
know,
you
man.
guys?
Vehicles account.
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
I'm just gonna go this to 3 vehicles, right?
I was totally sleeping. I think everyone at the so everyone who stayed at. What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage. Crap! We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that. So everyone who stayed at the motel.
What about you guys? I was where I was supposed to be.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an
Alibi then. No, that's wrong.
There we go. I'm calling Nagato Snow Leopard for now, and Hinata. Why? Why are they
All of
leopards?
us are missing an alibi.
In fact, Mikan and I both have alibis.
Except for we don't.
You two have alibis?
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hachi's. Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
Remember, we have Chiaki's panties.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was? Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process? Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
Killer had a different reason? If that's the case, are we still in the killer's trap? Is that a trap set by one of us? If so, then because I do what I want, I love it. Whose? And what kind of trap is it? Dun dun dun.
Hiya!
Stop it!
Chance time.
What a disappointment!
Let's save.
I'm Monami. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation. Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness. Why did it turn out like this? We were supposed to have a fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead. No! This definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this. Everyone, do your very best. Don't lose to yourself. And don't forget to save frequently.
The reason the killer did an imitation murder is a reason other than falsifying the murder sequence. Does something like that even exist?
Huh. It suddenly got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so, I wish I could die from self-loathing.
Man, this again.
If that's the case, it would have been just dandy if they had gone ahead and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect. So why didn't they do that?
Well, it's against the rules to kill 3 people in the first place.
That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because of that.
Seriously, just shut up already! Shut up forever!
But I'm thinking about it again, and he's totally right. It feels incomplete.
Because they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did? That's only because of Monokuma's rule.
It's not just that. Come on, try to remember the contents of the movie. About the lion that got killed second.
That's the one Hyoko's body was imitating, right?
Even though we're calling it an imitation, the lion was actually pinned by arrows, right?
So while they deal with class trial suspended and talk to each other at the water cooler, they go out and have a little rave for a little bit, you know, get some refreshments, party, etc.
But Hiyoko's body was suspended by common household duct tape. Maybe they just used a common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows. Well, that's probably it, but that attitude is what makes this feel incomplete. If falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan from the very beginning, they should have taken steps to properly imitate it.
But if we never realized it was a half-assed imitation, their entire plan would have been completely useless.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned?
I'm saying, Hyoko's murder wasn't.
What?
Hyoko's murder wasn't planned?
I understand the imitation wasn't enough, but aren't you making a bunch of assumptions? It's not just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details.
Strange details? Like what?
Like, for example, why did
Hiyoko go to the music venue?
Because Sonia told her to.
So, you're saying the truth behind Hyoko's murder is hidden?
I have no freaking clue what you're trying to say.
However, this is getting quite interesting. My four dark devas of destruction are getting riled up.
Why Hiyoko went to the music venue? That's the key to this all. Need to find out and where what the cost. And we got the good music. Oh. I don't know.
Why did Hiyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
Or she was guided by the will of causality.
Oh, causality.
Why did Hiyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
I'm gonna go motel room key
Maybe the killer summoned her.
on what Sonia said.
If that's not it,
Couldn't have too
maybe
much
she
info.
got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
I agree with that.
Sonia's super useful this time, guys.
It's just as Sonia said. She went to the music venue of her own free will.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Hiyoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the disparities, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them.
There's no way she got abducted?
Hiyoko locked the room she was staying in before she went out.
If she was forcibly taken from her room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it.
The killer could have locked her door, right? Just to hide the fact Hiyoko got abducted.
Then they couldn't have hidden her room key that deep in her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key. At the time, you were the one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that...
I won't lose.
Jesus Christ. Why?
Are you saying my gut was wrong? This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why won't you just let me shine already?
No! That's not the issue.
Shut up! Enough with your fancy talk. I'll shut you up right now.
Sonia's account.
Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right?
Wrong button.
She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room. Forcibly abducted her! The girl is so small and weak-looking. And that's why the killer targeted her.
But Hiyoko's room was locked. The key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hiyoko locked the door herself.
The killer was the one who locked the door. So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later.
There's no reason for the killer to put the
Sonia's
key in
the killer,
Hiyoko's
maybe?
kimono. The killer probably didn't
I have a hard
realize
time
she even
believing
had
that.
the key.
Hold on. Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono was all messed up. There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer.
Allow me to cut through those words.
Rebuttal showdown. Showdown music is so
Hiyoko's
ravey.
kimono was messed up was
Dude,
because she
I
wasn't
just
able to
need the
properly
wubs,
wear it.
okay? Wub, 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 wub,
Wear
wub.
her kimono?
Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own.
Hiyoko seemed to be really struggling with wearing her kimono. I believe that was one of the reasons she locked herself in her room. That is why